The simple things to the Christian life. Shall we just open? Those of you that want chapter 1 just by the first page, please message me. I'm happy to do that, but I wouldn't be me. Jordan doing Jordan things. Hashtag that somebody made up for me a while back. We'll have to use that, guys. So, me being me, I'm just going to open it. And I hope that whoever is watching this, I hope this is for you. If it is, take it, hear it. Don't speak it. Enforce it. Take action. So this is what I opened to. As this falls out. There's part of this that's falling apart, obviously. So, I opened to page 116. I'm not real sure where the chapter begins. So, I'm just going to read these pages right here. Come with me, and I will show you a shortcut. Know that voice for the devil's own. He is the prime inventor and patentee of shortcuts. I think that's the truth. The man who would be rich by a shortcut is devil-led. Find him where you will. The man who would get his kingdom by half a moment's homage to some whispered evil suggestion of unrighteousness is devil-led. That is temptation, and its principle of appeal is always the same. The attaining of a right end by a wrong method. Man, I just have to say that one more time. I'm sorry. That's good. The man who would get his kingdom by half a moment's homage to some whispered evil suggestion of unrighteousness is devil-led. That is temptation, and its principle of appeal is always the same. The attaining of a right end by a wrong method. Ooh, I got chills. How many of us have done that? I know I have. I know I'm paying for things that I did that recently. And it was, it was an emotional attainment, trying to at least attain. Failed to do so because, you know why? I used the wrong method. And for once, because I had used the wrong method so many times in my past, and I begged and I pleaded to learn from my lessons and to actually bring justice to the pain that I had been through in the past. Instead of sitting there in the dark asking, why me? Why this? Why now? Whenever I have been doing nothing but being obedient. I couldn't do that because I knew why. I knew exactly why. God showed up in that moment. So I made the mistake of repeating a bad old habit that no longer served my life now. So therefore, I did not attain anything. And that was my redemption. Yes, it sucks. But my redemption is in the fact that God didn't just give me my way. He said, that's enough. You've grown up a little bit. I'm not going to treat you like you're 5. I'm going to treat you like you're 22 now. And then I'm going to treat you a little bit older. And the older we get, we all know, the harder it gets. So that's power right there. The attaining of a right end by a wrong method. So tell me whenever you attain a wrong method by pursuing the right end. That's when we start learning. So maybe I needed to read this for myself. Who knows? Actually, I know. Because most of the time when we're doing something for somebody else, it's still a mirror as to what we're having to fulfill within our lives and ourselves. That's the way it all works, right? Push and pull, give and take, positive, negative, friction, electricity, night and day. Can't do it without two. Can't do it without an opposite. Can't do it without the counterpart. So, whoever you are my counterpart today. Let us take the last of these thoughts. I pray you notice how wonderfully this wilderness story reveals the method of victory. How did this man win when he was tempted? I am honestly more anxious that you shall see this last thing than anything else, because though sublime, it is simple. And if we can get hold of this, we can win. The appeal to the physical was withstood by an assertion that the care for the material life alone is a denial of the essential truth concerning man and the spoiling of man's nature. Command that these stones become bread. That is the devil's estimate that man's soul need is bread. But listen to the answer. Man shall not live by bread alone. When you are tempted in the realm of the physical, your answer is to be that the physical is not the only thing, nor the most important, and the first consideration must be the relationship between the physical and the spiritual. Man does not live only in the flesh. In his folly, he may try to. He may answer only the call of the flesh, but in so doing, there must inevitably be the degradation of the spiritual. I take my watch in my hand, and for 5 minutes look at its face. And on every moment is the impress of eternity. There stands that loaf of bread. I take it in my hunger when I ought not to have it. What have I done? Taken a loaf of bread? No. I violated the law of the universe, flung myself in all my unutterable folly athwart the rhythmic march of God. Man shall not live by bread alone. I may have my half hour's physical satisfaction contrary to law, but the infinite law enwraps me, it fastens me, takes hold upon me. I cannot escape. If I can remember that I shall not be likely to find answer to the call of the flesh without asking how it will affect the spiritual, the eternal, the undying. When the enemy proceeded further and made his attack upon the spiritual, how then did this man win? The appeal to the spiritual was refused by an assertion of the proper limits to the actions and attitudes of a dependent being. Trust God, said the devil. Trust God by experimenting. And the answer came. Such trusting is tempting. I can only trust God by trusting Him, and I can only trust Him by obeying Him, and I can only obey Him by waiting for Him. This is heroism. The suggestion of the devil was for heroism. If only you would do some great thing to prove your trust in God. If you could leap out from some height into immensity, relying upon the special exercise of God's providence, you would be heroic. It would be suicide. How can I be heroic, you ask? Stay quietly where you are, where God has put you. Meet every temptation to a false heroism by remembering that trust is no longer trust when it tempts and experiments. You do not need this truth to be illustrated. You have in your home someone who trusts you. Would you not know trust was passing away if you found such a one testing your faithfulness? Every time the soul experiments, it violates the principles of trust, but never demonstrates them. Jesus said, in effect, I cannot take any action in the spiritual realm save under the direction of God's Spirit. I cannot tempt him. Can I not read far more into the words of Jesus? May I not in all reverence say that in his answer he said, I trust him too well to tempt him. I cannot tempt the Lord my God. I know him too well. That is perfect trust. When spiritual temptation, far subtler, far more perilous than the physical, comes to you or to me, temptation to experiment with God's faithfulness, presuming on his favor, tempting his magnanimity, let us make answer. The spirit can only live as it follows and depends and really trusts. Finally, we come to the appeal to the vocational, refused by the assertion that divine service can only be rendered in direct loyalty to divine government. I'm going to stop there. And also because my mother's calling. So, that's all for tonight. And I probably will have to shorten this a little bit. But I'll tell you this. I look forward to getting to know you. And I look forward to being heard. Or maybe, I don't know, getting to be known. The simple things of the Christian life. There is such as a divine library. So what's yours? Good night.